How did the Mongols manage to build the largest contiguous empire in human history? The answer is not just strength, not just brutality. The answer is a system, a way of fighting that once seemed impossible to stop. They preferred open fields where they could run, turn, surround, and crush. And when someone resisted, they made sure the whole world knew. While most armies walked, the Mongols flew across the land. Each warrior had multiple horses. When one horse got tired, they switched and kept going. This gave them something no one else had: endless mobility. And there was more. They mastered the bow and arrow on horseback, at full speed. Now pay attention to this. Their bows were different. They were composite bows, made from wood, horn, and animal sinew. These layers worked like a spring, storing energy, then releasing it all at once. So the bow was smaller, but incredibly powerful, perfect for shooting while riding. While most civilizations trained soldiers after recruitment, the Mongols trained from childhood. Many historians believe they were riding horses before they even learned how to walk. So it wasn't just weapons, it wasn't just horses, it was an entire way of life. They didn't wear heavy armor, they didn't march in straight lines, and they didn't wait for orders in battle. They moved like a swarm, like one single body. Now imagine, really imagine, thousands of Mongol warriors charging toward your city, firing arrows while riding at full speed. That was the Mongol army, and for a long time, no one could stop it. When enemies first saw the Mongols, they thought it was just a fast attack, but the attack never stopped. The Mongols could ride at full speed, twist their bodies, and shoot arrows with deadly accuracy. Meanwhile, their enemies had to stop, aim, reload. And by the time they were ready again, the Mongols were already gone and attacking from somewhere else. Then came their most famous trick, the feigned retreat. They attacked, then pretended to panic and ran. The enemy thought they're fleeing and chased them, breaking formation, losing discipline. Then suddenly, the Mongols turned around. They surrounded the enemy, closed the circle, and destroyed them. This worked for one simple reason. The Mongols never panicked for real. The retreat was part of the plan. If a city fought back, the Mongols destroyed it completely. But if a city surrendered, sometimes it survived. The news spread fast, very fast. In some places, cities surrendered before the Mongols even arrived. They seemed invincible. Until they met enemies who changed the rules of the game. The Mongol system needed land, wide open land, room for horses. Japan offered something else: mountains, forests, narrow beaches, and the ocean. Horses couldn't charge on tight beaches, and they couldn't run across water. The Mongols had to land from ships, which meant fighting without their greatest advantage. Samurai didn't fight in one big formation. They attacked in small groups, striking, then retreating. And then something worse happened. Storms. Massive typhoons, destroying entire fleets. The Japanese called them kamikaze, the divine wind. The Mongol system needed land. Japan gave them water. In Vietnam, the enemy wasn't just the army. It was the land itself. Heat, humidity, rivers, jungles. The Vietnamese refused open battle. They hid, attacked supply lines, then disappeared. Without supplies, horses weakened. They got sick, overheated, starved. No open plains, no speed, no control. You can't surround an enemy you can't even see. India forced the Mongols to do something they hated. It forced them to stop. Dense populations, massive cities, tall walls, extreme heat. And then there were war elephants. Elephants didn't panic. They charged and crushed everything in front of them. Horses were terrified of elephants. And when horses panic, the Mongol system begins to crack. Heat drained strength. Sieges slowed everything down. The Mongol system was built for movement. India forced them to stand still. Indonesia was a perfect trap for the Mongols. Because the Mongols were masters of land, but Indonesia is not land. It is islands, rivers, swamps, and boats instead of horses. To fight there, the Mongols had to leave horses behind, travel by ship, and split their army into small groups. That broke the system. Local fighters didn't attack the whole army. They waited. They hid. They struck small groups. And when the Mongols tried to retreat, there was nowhere to ride. A system built on speed cannot escape across water. In Burma, the Mongols faced something strange. Not a great army in a field, but a forest that fought back. Thick trees, heat, humidity, insects, disease. Horses couldn't find grass. They couldn't move in formation. They couldn't charge at speed. And again, elephants. Huge, loud, unmoving. Arrows didn't frighten elephants the way they frightened horses. Here, the jungle was stronger than discipline. Then came Egypt. Here, the Mongols didn't face chaos. They faced a mirror. The Mamluks were expert horse warriors, highly disciplined, and tactically intelligent. But they made one critical choice. They chose the battlefield. They waited. They held their ground. When the Mongols tried their fake retreat, the Mamluks did not chase. They stayed, calm, unmoving. For the first time, the Mongols met an enemy who understood their tricks, refused to panic, and refused to move. This wasn't losing to terrain. This was losing to adaptation. What all these places had in common. They didn't defeat the Mongols by being stronger. They defeated them by changing the rules. They did three things. They changed the battlefield. They broke the rhythm. They forced the Mongols to fight the wrong way. No open plains. No endless grass. No fast encirclements. No easy fear. The Mongols built the greatest war system the world had ever seen. But it wasn't universal. It was perfectly tuned to one kind of world. A world of open land, horses, speed, and fear. When that world disappeared, the system cracked. The Mongols didn't lose because they were bad fighters. They lost when the world changed around them. When horses couldn't run, when enemies refused to chase, when the land itself stopped cooperating. And that teaches us something important. The strongest system isn't the one that wins every battle. It's the one that knows when to change.
That's the end of this video. Would you like to see more of it? I hope so. Let me know in the comments.